Even if Al-Qaeda had something to do with the 9/11 event, Al-Qaeda is trained by the CIA. And the CIA, they don't spend much time doing things like information gathering. In fact, they don't have much information at all. Most of what they do is terrorist training. And the more they train terrorists, of course, the more they make an excuse for the United States of America to fight terrorists. It's a big, silly cycle. And you have to see that the cycle is a game, and it's a game that all of us are playing without really having much control about it. The Second World War was the same thing. There was no need for the Second World War. Nobody wanted the Second World War. It had all to do with military mights fighting in Europe, and who was fighting who, it's hard to say. But I think a lot of it was Russia and the USA. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be talking today. Anyway, I wanted to wish you a happy 9/11, and remember, of course it was an inside job. You can't deny that. Otherwise they would have allowed an investigation. The only reason they haven't allowed investigation because they want you to stay stupid, and they might even want you to know that you're being fucked with to see if you're going to wake up. But no, America has stayed whiny bitches, and they don't want to jump up and get up. I mean, some of them do, but most of us don't. Most we'll get around to is some bullshit thing on YouTube. But anyway, that's a little bit more than nothing. So, however you're celebrating 9/11, remember, 9/11 was probably a good thing. It backfired. It's slowly waking us up to the fact that it's not the dictatorship that's coming, it's the dictatorship that's here. A lot of people have fear for this one world dictatorship. One world dictatorship ain't gonna work. You've got too many major powers, and we're gonna have to move somewhere towards one world government, but that doesn't necessarily mean dictatorship. Every country will have to be somehow governed internally, and there will have to be some kind of law, some kind of control for the international marketing of goods. And that seems to be our only occupation lately, is seeing how many nice things we can make. And it's understandable. We started out making nice things not that many years ago. Before, we used to have, if we were lucky, we had a pot and a pan. And now we've got a pot and pan and new clothes every day, and shoes if you want to wear them, and all those nice things. But we got to a point now where everybody's got some nice shit. We just need to stop and think, okay, what are we going to do with our lives? And one thing we should do is stop blaming Muslims for 9/11. It's got nothing to do with Islam. Al-Qaeda has nothing to do with Islam. And this perpetual hatred of other religions is completely and utterly naive. The Muslim religion is not very different from the Christian religion, and it's even closer related to the Jewish religion. And all three of them don't really say very much, and they all pretty well say the same thing in the same way. And we've got to get around this idea that there's the big bad enemy, because the big bad enemy isn't your neighbor. It isn't the guy that's from somewhere else. The big bad enemy is this greed system, like people like Dick Cheney, who steal billions of dollars from the government and then go establish the companies in other countries like Dubai. It's a big criminal money racket, and 9/11 isn't really that significant. It's just one event in very many events. Other events haven't become media takeovers, but more than anything, 9/11 was a simple media takeover. It's been a big bad lie, and there's a big conflict between, are you a patriot if you believe that it was an inside job? I mean, wake up. They've stolen your rights. The Americans have been stolen their rights. They've lost their rights because of this 9/11 bullshit. And even if it was Al-Qaeda or whoever it might have been, if some major terrorist group, so what? What's that got to do with attacking Afghanistan? There's no relation. Afghanistan is being attacked because it's got oil or oil lines, and it's always got to do with drugs and oil and all this other nonsense. So let's stop with our ideologies, and religious conflicts, because everything's got to do with business. So, was that it? So hopefully that makes sense. Happy 9/11 Day. Remember, 9/11 is a good thing. It helps you wake up. It's like it's like a good kick in the ass. Of course, it's not nice when people die, but remember, people are dying all over the place, and more people are dying since 9/11 than in 9/11. And seen from the perspective of people who live in the Middle East, it's been a lot more horrifying for them. Baghdad has been bombed, and the rest of Iraq has been bombed too much. And Afghanistan, they've had this shit blown out of them so many times they don't even know what's going on anymore. They think it's normal. So get realistic. Don't be a whiny bitch. One 9/11 event is no big deal, and it doesn't make you the next bunch of Jews. All right? So there you go.